At least I don't have an irrational fear of birds like the person I'm passing the phone to.
First of all, I'm not afraid of birds, I'm just aware of them. And even if I was, I'm not talking about the backyard Tweety wake you up at 5 a.m. birds. I'm talking about this Jurassic bull with feathers. Regular Show was not kidding, this velociraptor that time forgot can easily one-shot you with one swipe of his claws. Yes, I said claws. If you're not already, here's every reason you should be afraid of them. They can run at 31 miles per hour, meaning they could chain snatch Usain Bolt. They can jump 7 feet straight in the air, meaning this bush turkey could clear a shack. And they swim, meaning you couldn't Phelps your way out of this one. Female cassowaries are actually bigger than the males, and the biggest ones can grow to 6.5 feet tall. This guy is 6.5 feet tall. They have the sharpest claws of any rat type, and that second nail is basically a dagger that can disembowel both people and dogs. And by can, I mean they have. They've done it. And the bastards kick. One man was taking pictures of one when the murder turkey proceeded to charge and knock him off a cliff. Cassowaries are naturally shy, and 95% of the time they'd rather run away. It's just that 5% is how someone ends up on CNN. There's 3 types of cassowaries, and I approve of exactly none of them. And on everything, I'd forgive all of that if they didn't sound like this. I don't even have a fear of birds, I just have a fear of getting my throat split open by an overgrown homicidal jungle goose that sounds like a Toyota on life support and indigestion. At the end of the day, when it comes to animals, I only have one rule. If Steve don't with them, what makes you think I will? Yeah, that's a basking shark. They're highly dangerous menaces to society if you're zooplankton, because that's all they eat. Not only are they harmless to us, a lot of them will curiously approach divers in boats. The only messed up thing is if they don't look like they're in a perpetual state of agony with their mouth, they look almost identical to tiger sharks on steroids. But unlike tiger sharks, baskies have tiny teeth that never get bigger than half an inch, meaning this almost 30-foot whale guppy is a pacifist. They also might be the ocean's biggest troll. Cause when this corpse was found off the coast of New Zealand in 1977, people thought it was either a dead plesiosaur or a sea serpent. An idea that either of those could be in the ocean made people collectively enough bricks to build a city. But really it was just a basking shark that hit its expiration date. The only dangerous thing about them is that they allegedly taste disgusting. Gordon Ramsay vomited after trying fermented basking shark, and Anthony Bourdain called it the worst thing to ever assault his tongue. But the shark never asked to be eaten, so I'm not holding it against them. Also, this is what a baby baskie looks like. Moral of this video, they're perfectly harmless and we stand shark paw in these parts. You probably already know that Australia lost a war to this bird, but here's how this discount ostrich was able to dub an entire country. Number 1, they're basically bulletproof. Their organs actually make up a small part of their body, which is why this rehab big bird was able to eat bullets like 50. To the point where it took literally 10 rounds just to take out one of these feathery tanks. Number 2, emus are ridiculously, disrespectfully, unnaturally athletic. Not only can this Australian bush turkey sprint at 35 miles per hour, they can change directions like Messi, meaning they were out here ankle-breaking men on trucks that couldn't keep up. They can jump 7 feet in the air, and for an overgrown sand chicken, they've been known to climb fences. God was 100% laughing at us when he gave emus the green light. Number 3, they're way smarter than we thought. These emus had lookout groups, with every flock having a leader that would stand guard and warn the others if they saw soldiers approaching, meaning it was almost impossible to sneak up on them. They would also purposely split up and scatter just to make it more difficult. Eventually, they started to recognize the sound of the trucks that the soldiers were riding and would even dip before they saw them. And number 4, there was just too many of them. Killing all of them would have put the economy in a pack. At one point, there were 986 confirmed emu kills, but it took 9,860 rounds to do it. You can laugh, but we would have lost. Someone on Instagram asked me, what's the most dangerous animal that people don't talk nearly enough about? And this was the first image that popped in my head. Yeah, wild boar are a problem. The biggest ones can weigh up to 250 pounds with tusks that can put you in a newspaper. When they choose death penalty, they'll charge and impale their victims with those daggers they call teeth. Then they'll take a step back, and if you're still moving, they'll rush you again. They'll keep doing this until you're either crippled or a wuss. And they usually aim for the thigh, so if they sever your femoral artery, it's curtains, my guy. Boars are the homicidal tendencies of hippos with the street smarts of raccoons. This steroid porky has learned to stay close to humans because our garbage is free food to them, which is why they'll easily take your soul over half a box of popcorn. And according to cave paintings, they've been on our ass since the Stone Age. But like everything else, this is our fault, because the more we move into their hood, the more they lose their natural fear of humans, and the more obituaries get co-signed by this shuffle demon, and once again, Florida goes to hell and brings the bar with it. They're an invasive species, and there's not 1,000, not 5,000, but 500,000 of these road pigs in the Sunshine State, to the point where they might start voting in the next election. But don't feel too bad, Texas has about 2 million of them. You can find them in about 30 states. God gave them life, and they make it everyone's problem. Once upon a time, the office asked which bear is the best bear, but I noticed they never did the same with cats, so I'm here to tell you. Jaguar is the best cat. You'd swear their avatar the way they body every element. They can run you down at 45 miles per hour, climb trees, and because nature loves stacking the deck, the bastards can swim, and they're pretty good at it. Some were even caught Phelpsing across the Panama Canal, meaning this steroid with whiskers can outrun, outclimb, and outswim you, and if one comes at you, you're 50 shades of Jaguars are the third most brolic big cats behind lions and tigers. But with a bite force of 1,500 pounds per square inch, they have by far the most disrespectful bite of any cat. Not only that, but jaguars do something no other cat does. That's canceling their victim by going for the head instead of the neck. To do-rag, jaguars can skull-cap Cayman. The name jaguar means he who kills with one leap, which is fair because they do be one-shotting. On top of all that, they have some of the biggest eyes of any predator, meaning not only can they see underwater, God gave them night vision and told the rest of the jungle to deal with it. Jaguars are so metal that ancient Meso warriors used to feed them the hearts of their slaughtered enemies as respect. They can also evict turtles with their teeth. Call for the king of the jungle and the jaguar will pick up the phone. Absolutely right, we talked about the best bear and the best cat, so obviously we gotta talk about the best dog. African wild dogs are a cell block D menace to society. Even though they share a zip code with lions, hyenas, and crocodiles, this homicide pup has one of the most disrespectful KD ratios of any African animal. These dogs have a kill percentage of 80%, meaning every time they go out to hunt, there's an 8 out of 10 chance somebody's life subscription's getting cancelled. They're about the same size as the average pet dog, but there's one terrifying fact about them. They never get tired. The African Cujo can run you down at 37 miles per hour for 3 miles straight, and there can be up to 20 of them on your ass. Imagine being chased by 20 of something that has the endurance of a Duracell. But the real nightmare is actually when they catch you. Unlike lions and leopards that'll put you out of your misery first, wild dogs eat you alive while you sit there and wait for an Uber to the afterlife. Your entire way of life can come down to a sneeze, since wild dogs vote on whether or not to go out to hunt by sneezing. On a wholesome note, they do let the puppies eat first, since their pack structure is based on helping out the weakest members instead of letting the strongest ones take their pick, like lions. Because of this, their pack structure is way more efficient and way deadlier than wolves. They're so good at what they do that hyenas will try to steal from them and lions will try to murk them on sight because they see them as such a threat. I don't even blame them, because imagine being chased by something that no matter how hard or long you run, every time you turn back, it's there waiting to run your pockets. Basically the IRS, but with teeth and a tail.
Hey, crazy. Hi. You are so happy today. Yes, you are. Oh, you're a good girl. Popcorn's been having fun.
That is a binturong, also known as a bear cat, even though it's not a bear or a cat. It's a viverrid, and the best way to describe them are as musty-smelling cats that aren't really cats. As a viverrid, they're related to civets and gents, which to be fair, you probably never heard of before, but they're also part of the feliform suborder, which also makes them somewhat related to hyenas, fossa, and mongoose-like meerkats, which you definitely have heard of before. And if you smell a movie theater, you're probably smelling them because their pee smells exactly like popcorn. And just like their distant relative the hyena, female bear cats have a pseudo-penis, and I have no idea why. This rehab raccoon is found all over Asia, and as a nocturnal introvert, they spend most of the day hiding and sleeping in trees. They use those long prehensile tails to help climb trees and as mood rings to communicate to others how they feel, and shaking it means they're happy. They also make a lot of random sounds, and they've been known to chuckle as a sign of comfort. Even though they identify as members of the carnivore group, they also eat fruits and figs, and it turns out binturongs in captivity really love plantains. Go figure. There's no fact here, just a baby binti. Female bintis have a superpower, which is they can delay their own pregnancy and give birth whenever they feel like it, thanks to embryonic diapause. You wish that was you, don't you? They're shy, awkward, plantain-loving introverts that spend most of their time eating and sleeping, aka your new spirit animal. I can't speak for all of you, but I stand this alcoholic author. Thing is,